Hello and welcome to this video. In this one today, I am going to share with you a very important tips and tricks which I used in my life to improve my communication skill, which I require on a daily basis to do my business and the job in which I am currently working. So it's not a tough job, it's not a tough thing that you are thinking, or maybe like might all of you thinking that it is very difficult to speak in this language, but it is not. I'm going to be touching base upon a few points which you need to keep in mind from the start, from the base, which gonna help to build your communication in just 30 days. Okay, so first thing that we are going to talk about is to listen. Now before I'm gonna explain this point, let's go back to Vedas. Do you remember the history that we used to read, that they used to remember everything by listening? That is called Shruti, right? So this is the thing that we have in ourselves. So this is called intrinsic characteristics which we have in ourselves. So what is it? The more we listen, the better we grasp anything. Be it anything, trust me, you have to be an active listener. Now there are two ways of listening things. Once you listen to just enjoy or to understand whatever like the other people are saying, but on the other hand, if you want to listen properly, to learn it, you have to listen very carefully and slowly how to put the words into actions. So how are you going to do that? Let's say you just pick up any movie or any podcast or anything that you would like to listen to in English in each and every day. It can be your favorite YouTuber speaking in English. So be it anything, just try to listen to them and carefully listen to them. Prefer to choose somebody who speaks slowly so that it will be easier for you to understand. The better you listen, try to understand how they are speaking, how they are putting the words one after another, and how they're conveying the meaning. See, you do not have to use a lot of fancy words every day to communicate your thought process. You just need a simple English with a grammatically correct, and that is all our target to touch base upon. Alright, the second point that I'm going to touch base upon is called reading. Now we have a lot of fancy thought process going on, what to read, what not to read, how to read, what are the books that we need for reference basis. Let us put all of this aside and let's jump into the thing that actually matters. See, whenever you are learning something, do not put a lot of rules into it. Do not try to make it more complex than it is, because we are just starting it out and we do not know anything about it. Let's presume that you never never started, or you never gave it a push to understand this language or try to speak in this language. So in the beginning it will be difficult for us, and it is difficult for everybody around the world who is not a native speaker of this language. So what you have to do, since reading is something which actually helps us to understand how to form sentences with beautiful and rich vocabulary, we have to make sure that we read every day. Now let's talk about what to read. Now see, at the beginning I would rather focus on a book which has a lucid English, or which has a very simple English which we can easily understand, and that is something that can keep us going. If that is something that keep us going, then we will be very much interested. It will make us to read more, and that is what we need. We have to keep it in practice in each and everyday basis. Do not go out there in the market and just pick a very difficult book. Just because it has a very good level of English does not mean that it is going to help you. Do not focus on that. Focus on something which can actually help you out, because we are going to build our basics first with the grammar. Definitely I'm going to be talking about it in a different point, but since reading is a point, so we are going to pick a simple book, any children book or anything that you feel like. Now since it is your choice, if you want to start with, I started with reading newspaper, and I had a book which was about law of attraction, which was about self-help book, and it was quite a simple English. I used to sit with something which you require each and every day, is called dictionary. Now a lot of people will not tell you that the dictionary is helpful. They do not mention about it, but let's put it in this way. Dictionary is something which is going to help you to understand and extend your vocabulary from the one that you have. We kind of have a very normal vocabulary, but if you want to add some fancy words in the vocabulary, if you want to start talking in such a way that your English is, it sounds like it is well mannered English, then you need to put a lot of vocabulary. But that is not our target. Our target is to read basics and get a help from a dictionary that I recommend, that I help myself to read in. It's called the Oxford English Learners Dictionary. And why it is so? Because the way they put their meaning into it, the way they help you to understand the meaning, it stays there in our mind for quite a long time. And always remember, if you're learning a new word, get a pen and paper, get some copy or something, and try to note that down. Try to understand what is the sentence in which it was used. You can also get in touch you can also use ChatGPT nowadays, or Gemini, because it is out there. You can try understand how to remember the words by using mnemonics, or maybe like a simple form of sentence in which the words are daily, words can be used on daily purpose. So you have to come to those words back in each and every day. Let's say today you found 2 or 3 new words. You're done. You 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes you read before you went off to sleep. And then once you're coming back tomorrow, it is your task to go over those words at least once. Just do not try to remember, try to understand how it was used. Once you do that for 30 days, next 60 days, it is your word. And trust me guys, it is your word. Once you start to use it, then it is your word. No one's going to stop you from using this word. So just start reading whatever you feel like, be it newspaper, be it book. Have a dictionary handy. Try to understand the meaning of the words. Try to put it in your own copy, own notepad, where you can refer it back and where you can revise those words. Just keep in mind, it is not a 100-meter race. It's a marathon. It will take some time to improve this language. Now, the next one that I'm going to talk about speak daily. Now, before we speak daily, we have a lot of problems, right? To whom to speak with, how to speak with, and there's the biggest problem that holds us back, which is, what if we speak in incorrect English? There is no way of incorrect English. It is incorrect formation of words, which we call the incorrect use of grammar. That is what holds us back from speaking fluently. And the way that I'm speaking, if you notice carefully, I am not speaking in a very high speed. I am speaking in normal speed, which everybody can understand, and that is the way that we have to keep in mind. Once we start, our speed should be formal, it should be nominal, it should be very low, so that we can have our own modulation, and you literally have to speak in this speed only. Please keep it in mind. Let's say you wanted to have a conversation with your friends about going to a movie. So whatever the thought, what are the questions that your friend might ask? Let's go for a movie. When is the movie? What movie that you want to go and watch? Let me see. Let me check the Book My Show. What are the the movies? It's up there. So once you start to check the Book My Show, or whatever the apps that you have in your phone, once you start to check it, then you will find that few of the movies are there. Okay, so I'm seeing this movie I really wanted to watch. Would you like to go? What is the time? What are the timings that we have? So see, try to understand. I'm coming up with the next conversation. I'm coming up with the next questions as well. That is exactly holds us back. What to talk about next? Let's say I'm going to put my question. Would you like to go for a movie? What are you doing on this weekend? Let's say I'm in the office, or I'm somewhere. I'm just asking my friend, because I have this thought process in my mind that I wanted to go for a movie. I wanted to go on the weekend, but the other party's weekend might not be open. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be asking the friend or whoever it is, what is the plan on the weekend? So he said, I'm pretty much open. I don't have any plan. Why are you asking? So he's gonna, why are you asking? Now you have to put, okay, I was thinking about going for a movie. Would you like to join? Would you care to join? So see, I'm following up on this. Now, I'm trying to build this whole conversation, just sitting in the room. I do not have anybody here. I'm just talking in the mic, into the camera. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to build up a conversation through which I'm trying to understand that how I can form the questions, how I can come up with the next thought process, rather than being afraid of what if it does not come. So that is a practice that you have to do. The more practice you do, the more this kind of conversation that you create. Try to understand it will help you. It will definitely help you once you actually have to go out there and try to speak in English. So try to speak more, try to create a conversation. Go on YouTube, get a help of ChatGPT, get a help of AI, try to create a conversation. Ask the Google, what are the conversations that you can have, what are the subjects, maybe like you think like what are the conversations that you're gonna have with your friends once you meet them in the evening, or next tomorrow, once you go into the office tomorrow, what are the meetings that you have, what are the points that you need to discuss, and then you create a conversation in your mind. If you can write it down and if you can record it and then evaluate by yourself that whether you are confident enough, like that is how you do it. Now it is the first day. If you start to do it, I know you're gonna be holding yourself back from doing it, but if you start doing it, then it will be very easy. Try to understand it is just muscle memory that we have to prove upon before it starts to flow automatically the way that I'm doing. So speak more. Now the next one that I'm going to talk about, it's quite an interesting point, that if it is possible to record a conversation and record it in any language. Let's say you are talking to your friend in your mother tongue, and ask your friend, okay, I'm going to record this conversation. If you're sitting somewhere, try to record this conversation, come back at home and try to understand how you can or how you could have spoken if it were in English, right? Record a conversation whenever you are speaking to a friend, come back home, listen to the recordings and try to understand if it were in English, how would that happen. So that is how you can also improve. That is how the next point of time when you're going to talk to someone, it will be easier for you to understand. It will be easier for you to come out with a new words and a formation of sentences. What we're going to do, we're going to be just simply translating your thought process, whatever that you have spoken and the other party did. So that is what you're going to do. Try to record yourself, or try to record yourself in your language once you're at home. Record more, try to translate, and from the next point of time when you start to speak in mother tongue, try to connect the dots and come out with English words, put it together, and voila, you'll see the magic that you actually started to speak in English. Alright, next point that I'm going to talk about, it is the most important building blocks that we need, and we all kind of did. I also kind of did, but I never started out with. The point is called grammar. Now, I never taught myself when I was back in school. Like I already told you guys that I do not belong to a background where I could speak in English in school, or I had this background to speak with people in this language. But the one thing that helped me out, we are very much afraid, what if we are speaking incorrect English, and that is actually the point that you have to work upon, is the grammar. How you can correct an English. Let's put it in this way: when you are speaking in mother tongue, we are not afraid. We do not worry about speaking incorrect, because we know we are right. Because the thing that you learned, and you have never referred to any grammar book, be it in any language, whatever your mother tongue is, but it is a language that you're learning it. You did not learn how to speak in Bengali, Hindi, Telugu, Marathi, Gujarati, whatever the language is, Spanish, whatever the language that you are speaking in. You never learned it. You just heard it. You heard your parents, you heard your friends, family members, everybody speaking the same language, and that's how you grasp it. That's how you know that it is right. We are absolutely right about our day-to-day conversation in our mother tongue. But since we are putting an extra effort, we are trying to go extra mile in this language, so we have to make sure that we are not afraid anymore. And how to do it, I'm gonna be teaching you the grammar in a different sections, different videos, and it will be a very basic grammar. There are a lot of videos, a lot of books out there, free material out there, which you can refer and try to understand if it is a grammar, how you can help. Because he is, she is, he was not, she was not, I was not, I did not, I haven't had this meeting for a long time, I haven't been there since I saw you, or like this kind of thing. How you can put exactly the thought that is coming into your mind into words. Grammar is something that helps you. I really want to emphasize on this point, like you have to work on it. Even if it is on weekend, try to understand. Okay, do not learn the grammar like we used to do in the school, because in the school what we used to do, we used to learn the grammar so that we could score more. Now your target is different here. You're not sitting for an exam, or maybe like even if you're sitting for an exam, your point is to get it correct, get your thought process out of your mouth, put it into words, and in such a way that it sounds wonderful, it sounds confident, and it sounds correct. And that is the thing that we need through this language, and that is what we're going to put, and that is called grammar. So you can refer back to any books, although I would rather suggest to work on this thing. Do not sit with a very difficult grammar book. Try to pick a very simple one, right? A very simple, where you just have the meaning and try to understand how these points are put together, the parts of speech. Although I'm going to be uploading a lot of videos regarding the grammar, I'm going to be creating the playlist, and in that you can also refer back. So the point that we are talking about here is to understand each part of the speech, how it is functioning, how it is related to one another, so that in the future, consciously, when we are going to speak in this language, we actually going to put into work the grammar going to help us out. That is the most important thing, the building blocks. Try to understand. The one thing that stops us from speaking this language, that we are afraid. We are definitely afraid. We are not confident, because we think that what if we speak incorrect English, they are going to laugh at us. Now that is the point that I would definitely want you to remember, that everybody started at this point. Even I sometimes speak incorrect English, and the moment I do, I kind of correct that. I kind of work on that immediately, that I think, okay, this is something that I spoken incorrectly. So that is how you actually work upon it. It's been quite a long time that I'm speaking this language, and I never had any kind of formal training. I never went to any school. I just teach myself. I just taught myself, and I definitely had a job. Now this is a bonus point that I'm going to share with you. If you could get yourself in an environment, it literally helped me. Get yourself in an environment where you could speak more. The best part is to get yourself in an environment if you could join a call center. Call center is somewhere where you have to speak in that language with overseas people, be it American, be it British, be it Australian, wherever it is. Trust me guys, the international call center is the main key, is the boost to my energy of speaking this in a wonderful language. Trust me, I never had a formal training, but that is something that I did every day, 5 days a week, 9 hours. I was speaking to Americans, I was selling products over the phone, and that is how I helped myself to speak in this language wonderfully. Right now I'm kind of worked upon it, and definitely I had a touch base upon. I had exposure to learn the grammar, but that is for a different video altogether. So all the points that I spoke about, write it down, try to work upon it, create a routine. That every day you're going to give at least 5 minutes to one chapter of a grammar. Try to understand, at least 5 minutes. You have to do it. You have to give it to yourself. You have to come out with a time. You have to come up with a wonderful routine, that you have to be very much consistent and persistent about it, so that it can help you out to understand that how it actually working. And trust me guys, if you are consistent, the man or the woman who is going to be consistent about going to see the result in the next 30 days, trust me guys, it does work that way. If you're not consistent, then no video, no teacher, no book, nothing in this mother earth going to help you. It is you yourself have to be very much consistent about that, how you're going to put into this wonderful world. And keep learning, happy learning, and let's see you on the other video. Thank you so much for watching this. If you liked it, give it a like, thumbs up, and share with your friends. Thank you.